Welcome to Biophilians Kitchen.
Dr. Khadar Vali, a renowned independent scientist and millets expert who is well known worldwide for his canvassing on use of Siridhanya. A native of Kadapa district, Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Khadar Vali has graduated with Masters in Science specializing in Education from Regional Institute of Education, Mysore. He completed his PhD on steroids from IISc Bangalore and further pursued his postdoctoral research on environmental science in Beaverton, Oregon, USA. He worked as a scientist at CFTRI for 3 years and worked in DuPont, USA for 4 years. Dr. Khadar felt the need to strive for a healthy Indian society. Ever since his return to India in 1997 from USA, he has been working relentlessly for the past 20 odd years on reviving Siridhanya by cultivating them using a method called Kadu Krishi or jungle farming. He has dedicated his life to cure people of sickness and health issues through his talks and programs. He is fondly revered as Millet Man of India and has touched millions of lives by promoting healthy food lifestyle. With this brief introduction, I request Ms. Dr. Khadar Vali to enlighten us with his talk on Siridhanya, a source of highest nutritional values and disease curative properties. I also request the President and Vice President of Mahila Kalyan Manch and the Deputy Estate Manager to kindly take their seats in the front row with the audience. Sir, the dais is yours.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure talking to the DRDO scientists in the morning session. We had a wonderful time, and I'm also happy that I'm getting a chance to address all the people in the organization, their families, and their kids also. I guess some of them are coming along. For the last 20 years, I have been communicating to the people at large that the whole human race is suffering from many diseases, and they need not. Not even a single human being need not suffer the way present day human race is suffering. We need not have diabetes, we need not have cancer, we need not have thyroid problem. Actually, we should not worry about any diseases if only we had the right food. So the human race has gone wrong in choosing the food. And having done that biggest mistake, human race is searching for medicines. The health is connected to food, and medicine is connected to sickness. And you want to be healthy, you need to do work in the field of food. But we are not doing anything about food, and we want to be healthy. The whole human race has lost its direction as far as food is concerned. And now we had a lot of signals from nature: dengue, chikungunya, H1N1, H5N1, SARS, Ebola, now Corona 1 and Corona 2 will come, Corona 3 will come. These are all teasers in the modern day language. It's not. See, thousands are dying in China, and thousands died in India too when H5N1, swine flu, bird flu. and in Europe, mad cow disease. All these signals, and still the human race is not correcting itself. It's not understanding that it is the way that we are producing food on this planet. The diseases are slowly engulfing. It's okay if it just kills human beings because we are the culprits, but it is killing any and every living thing on this planet. That is the problem. We don't have any concern about any other thing on this planet. We are producing these animals in an unnatural way. Not only animals, even rice, wheat, soybean, corn, all these so-called food that the human race, modern human race is consuming without blinking an eye, not knowing where things are coming from and how things are happening. And most of the people on this planet are kept completely ignorant of all the issues, and others are simply following. Very few people do these things, and then all the humanity is suffering. We all should be aware of what is going on around and why these things happen. How do we manage our lives? And it is important that we behave properly on this planet Earth so that we don't kill each other and we don't kill any other animal. These viruses are nothing but agents derived out of our own doing. Either H5N1, H1N1, Corona. Corona is not very new, it's been there. Whatever cough, cold you get, that is a kind of coronavirus. But once the virility is lost due to its continuous processing or whatever you call mutation, we are being saved. If the virus continues to grow in its strength and becomes more virulent, more number of people will die. It's in its nature that the virus somehow luckily is losing their virulence. So we are saved, otherwise the whole humanity will be wiped out. Now you see the whole Chinese community is just scared, and they have the maximum number of missiles and machines. So you think you can develop defense systems? I'm sorry to say this, coming to a DRDO institution and say that you can go on developing any number of missiles, but then when things hit from within, what do? You take your missiles and shoot yourself? You cannot do that. And China has more missiles than anyone on this planet, and more machines. So millets and trees will save you, not machines and missiles. So it is the plant kingdom that makes food for everyone on this planet, and that is the real food. And you think by manipulating all this stuff, you're making meat in large quantities in short time. Chicken is made like that, goats, pigs, cows, billions of it is made industrial. See, food cannot be prepared on industrial basis, which is the wrong choice that the human race has made. Like you are producing milk on industrial basis. Milk has to be produced individually by the mothers for the babies. So your own babies, if you have two babies, the first baby's milk is not good for the second baby. Second baby's milk is for second baby, first baby's milk is for first baby. So when there is that difference, how do you think cow's milk is good for your baby? You bring industrially produced cow's milk and then start feeding your babies, what can happen? Hormone imbalance has taken place. That's what was observed way back in 1980s in America. girls started menstruating at the age of 6, 7, 8, because they are the ones who started. Though cows belong to India, they took our cows and then genetically manipulated and injected oxytocin, estrogen, and produced huge amounts of milk and started feeding their babies. And then they thought, oh, this is a wonderful technology, and started advertising milk, complete food, in the science books, and started selling their technologies to the whole world. They exported all these steroids and all this so-called biotechnology and made a lot of money. Even now, today also, they are continuing to make the same thing. And the whole world following these non-scientific, stupid methods. And if they are stupid, we are idiots. We are not exercising our mind and not able to figure this out. And then, sadly enough, in India also now girls are menstruating at the age of 8 and 9. Women are supposed to menstruate naturally at the age of 14 or 15. So, if you do not give milk to your babies, they will not menstruate at the age of 8, 9, which is the case now. And sadly, last 2-3 months before, I had a patient, a small girl, 3-year-old baby menstruating. So, this is what, and no doctor, no scientist, no institutes, no policy makers are ready to address this issue. So you have the hormone imbalance right from the childhood when you feed your babies the milk. And that's not enough. The whole system is screwed up because we are hormonally imbalanced now drinking this milk. As if milk is not enough nowadays, because they want to increase the consumption of this industrial food material. They are telling paneer is good for you. Concentrate the milk and then take it, is good for you. You need protein, you need vitamin B12, you need this, you need that. All lies. You do not get vitamin B12 from meat, from paneer, from milk. It is the microbes that are in your gut that makes the vitamin B12, not just vitamin B12. There are many more biochemicals that these microbes make in your tummy, along with your living metabolism. So unless there are microbes in your tummy, you cannot have complete health. But what have we been doing in the last 5-6 decades is slowly and steadily eliminate the microbes, create microbial imbalance, and we have created with so-called milk, hormone imbalance, and then rice and wheat are the only food grains that are used now all over the world. All over the world. Actually, to grow these two grains, we require a lot of water, fertilizers and pesticides. We are spoiling the earth, Mother Earth, to grow these grains using tons of fertilizers and pesticides. And eating these two grains, especially rice and wheat, our glucose imbalance is created. That means when you eat rice, 100 grams, in a matter of 30 minutes, your blood is flooded with glucose. And we are supposed to have the glucose released into our blood slowly and steadily. That means at any given point of time, you cannot have more than 5 to 6 grams of glucose in your whole blood. If it is excess, then all the endocrine glands and other organs start working on emergency basis, because they want to convert the glucose that is being released by this rice and wheat in large quantities into something else, like cholesterol, triglycerides, or glycogen, meat, fat. All these things are produced by glucose only, no nothing else. So you continue to eat rice and wheat in large quantities, what you get is uninhibited release of glucose into your blood. So to take care of this excess glucose, what if excess glucose is there, you may ask. Excess glucose, what it does is it starts pulling water from all the living cells. So you just put sugar here, it will absorb water from the atmosphere. So it's nature, both salt and sugar, both do this job, whether you like it or not. So that's why you don't want to eat too much salt, because you will become very thirsty. The same thing, you eat lot of sugar, you eat 5 gulab jamuns, you will start feeling thirsty. Or Mysore pak if you are from Mysore. Anything, sugar, glucose starts attracting water. So it starts pulling water from all the living cells. Then you become thirsty, you drink lot of water. Then what happens? The water, if there is more water, then the salts are being sucked out. So the kidney comes into picture, and then you are forced to go to toilet. So you keep running to toilet. Then, oh, you are going too many times to toilet, but the sugar is not going to go away. If you are diabetic patient, then sugar also starts running into the urine. But before you became diabetic patient, what happens? The sugar is going back to the blood and then running around. So it causes a continuous vicious cycle. Then what happens? The glucose, instead of being in the blood, it starts depositing onto the blood cells, red blood cells, and that is called HbA1c. So your HbA1c, which is supposed to be below 6 or 7, it starts rising. Your hemoglobin has to be 12 to 14. Now the sugar is going to go and deposit, and you start having HbA1c high. So it becomes 8, it becomes 9, it becomes 10, then doctor says you are diabetic patient. And after that, you still have excess glucose. What does it do? It takes to glycogen, it goes to meat, it goes to fat, and then you start putting on weight. Then you say, oh, you are obese. Then still you have excess glucose. It starts accumulating in the blood cell. You have the excess cholesterol, triglycerides starts depositing in the blood vessels. Then if it happens around the heart, you will have blocks. Then they will say, come, we'll have stents ready from America, Germany, one after the other operations. So they try to do things with the tablets, they thin your blood. Why is it getting thick? Because you are eating this rice and wheat, and the doctors are not ready to tell you it's because of rice and wheat. You have BP, you have diabetes, you have obesity, you have all this. No problem. You can eat whatever you want. You can eat biryani 24/7, all this. Hotels are coming up. You start eating meat. And what is meat? Meat is nothing but the excess glucose getting converted due to all these chemicals that you do not want in excess, but then you are consuming on a daily basis. So you are supposed to make the meat. Now, as if it is not enough to eat rice, wheat, milk, you also started eating meat, because they are preparing meat in large quantities by mixing soybean and sweet corn from America. They have this huge industry of making food for animals, and then they want to eat the animals that they are making. So now, this you got some videos, people, oh, they are eating dogs, they are eating cats, and they are eating this, and that's why they are got this. So, for a fellow like me who does not eat anything, chicken, goat, pig, cow, all are you are used to eating cow and pigs, so you say it's okay. Or chicken biryani, chicken soup, chicken, nothing happens, because it doesn't even hit you in your brain that, oh, he is eating chicken biryani. It's okay, you don't drink an animal. But then if someone saying he has eaten cat biryani, cat biryani. That's what is happening. Chinese eat cats, dogs, Koreans eat something else, French fellows eat something else. So each one, depending on their culture, they have been eating some animal or the other. And these Norway fellows, they don't get cats and dogs, they go to the ocean and they eat the whales. So it's all there. There's nothing serious about someone eating dogs, someone eating cats, someone eating chicken, someone eating bats, someone eating something else. But all are eating meat. And all are producing in large quantities artificially by feeding the soybean and corn, all kinds of animals, and injecting them oxytocin, estrogen, some steroids, some antibiotics. So whatever you eat, you are eating all these steroids and then antibiotics from the beginning. Because people started eating so much meat that it is not enough for the naturally growing animals. You would not wait for the cow to grow, to give you 600 kilos, or for the pig to become 300 kilos, or the chicken to become 3 kilos. It took actually 1, 2 to 3 years. But then you want everything to be fast. Make it happen in a month or two. So pigs have to become 300 kilos in a matter of 3 months, because you want to eat more and more. Bangalore alone eats 1 lakh tons of meat in a year. So approximately 10,000 tons. But in Ramzan month it eats 3 times more. But the Muslims are only 10 or 12%. So what does that mean? In the name of Muslims we are all eating. Actually they are supposed to be on fast in that month. That means they are supposed to eat less. But then they only shift from day to night. They eat in the night 3 times more, and you people, why do they need to eat alone? We also will join the party. And this is what is happening all around the world. The objective of Ramzan month is completely out of the window. And this is what human race is doing. So all are eating very unscientifically. And if only you sit and think, what is our gut? Mouth to anus. We are designed to be herbivores. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. But then we refuse to be vegetarians. And being vegetarians, as if it is not enough, we want to produce even that vegetables unscientifically. Now many people ask me, can we eat the fruits? I tell you, don't touch a single fruit which is available in the bazaar. That is good enough reason for you to get cancer. The banana, the mango, the apple, the pomegranate, all these wonderful fruits have been completely spoiled by this present day so-called horticultural departments. They are screwing up. There is nothing natural left on this planet, including jackfruit is being screwed up. Nowadays they are injecting chemicals into that fruits also. So you want to eat fruits, you should know how it is grown. If you know that it is grown without chemicals, then you can eat your fruits. So we have come to a stage where we are screwing up our health by our own hands. I am not talking about single individual or single groups or single place. I am talking about the whole human race. Because the whole food practices have been completely taken over by this industry. Fertilizer industries, pesticide industries. Whatever they give you, we have to eat. And that's how the world is running on this planet now. As we speak, everything is completely produced on industrial basis. It's like they are producing cars and motorcycles and things like that. They are producing these pigs, cows, dogs and cats. And then we are consuming all these animals. And so when you do this unnaturally, the bone marrow has no time to produce antibodies. The viruses have been there. They are also there long time. It's not that you are the only one existing from time immemorial. All these things have come even before you have come onto this planet. They are going to have their own way of doing things. So luckily for us, the viruses that have become virulent are losing their virulency because they keep dividing. Their lifetime is very short. So they keep rotating themselves. While doing so, they are losing their virulency. That's how we are safe. But actually, scientifically, it should be other way around. That we should have our immunity strong so that whatever happens, whatever invades, we are okay. So instead of us becoming stronger from within, we are trying to take vaccines, we are trying to take this, trying to take that, which is the most unscientific thing. How many vaccines will you take? Now already human race has got the vaccine list. There are 21 vaccines you are trying to inject into your babies. What kind of scientific thought process is this? And while doing that, actually kids are becoming attention deficit, hyperactive disease is entering. Already in America and Europe, people are now slowly realizing that it's because of these vaccines. Your kids are becoming ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಮಾಂದ್ಯರು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಬುದ್ಧಿಮಾಂದ್ಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳು in America it's almost 28%. In China and Japan it has crossed 30%. It's because of the unnatural foods that you are eating while you are consummating your babies. What is going on here? And no doctor, no scientist is trying to communicate these aspects. Instead, these guys are telling, oh, diabetes, lifestyle disease. What nonsense. Chief ministers have this, a servant maid has this, a baby girl who is just born has got diabetes. What kind of lies these so-called scientists and doctors are talking about? Willing to say, correct your food. No. I have diabetes, take this tablet. How long? Lifelong. I have BP, take this tablet. How long? Lifelong. I have thyroid problem. Take this tablet. How long? Lifelong. It's not only in India, you go to any country in the world, so-called developed countries or whatever, any country, the same story. So you think the lifestyle of senator in America and a baby girl born is the one and the same? And these doctors are trying to continuously tell us that these are lifestyle diseases. The sad part is even the so-called scientists or food scientists are also, oh yeah, this is a lifestyle disease, stress. What stress? It is glucose stress. You are overeating, dumping the glucose without control into your blood, and that is the stress. As simple as that. So, if I want to cure diabetic patient, what do I need to do? Stop that stupid glucose coming into your blood in such fast and furious fashion. Instead of doing that, you go on fooling people. If you are obese, it is this glucose coming into excess glucose, trying to manage it between glycogen, fat and meat. So you go on dumping more and more meat. What are we doing here? So the logical steps that human race should have taken long ago, search for the right food. Instead of searching for the right food, what is right food then? A food material that releases glucose into your blood slowly and steadily. No one wants to do research in this, because that kind of food grains have been there all over the world, everywhere. So if the scientific community declares that as food for human beings, so no one needs to sell all these chemicals, all these fertilizers, all these pesticides. No one need to build dams. So no one need to mine, no one need to make this steel in such large quantities. We don't need all this nonsense at all. We can produce food for 70 billion people if we agree that the grains that can be grown when there is rain for 4 or 5 rains, we can grow all these grains all over the world. These grains are both local as well as universal. The brown top millet is called American millet actually. Even now they are growing all over America. They are not eating, they are feeding the birds. That's their stupidity. And we follow them. Then it's our idiocy. So if they are stupid, we are idiots. Because we are giving our kids the same milk. In fact, they don't have cows. They took cows from us and manipulated genetically and made this so-called HF jersey, and then we buy that again from them. It's like we are growing tons and tons of sugarcane using all of our water and then make molasses and export it to the countries, and they make wine and again sell it back. So tons of molasses is produced in India, and the wine and the liquor we are buying. Like this, we are spoiling our health and the health of the mother in producing these water guzzling crops, sugarcane, rice, wheat, and the companies. This is the food politics. Everything is in their hands. They are selling fertilizers and pesticides. They keep changing year after year. In the name of technology, in the name of biotechnology, in the name of science, in the name of progress. And all these systems are in place. Whatever they say goes through. Can you believe now we are also injecting all vaccines to our kids all over India in the name of science? You don't need any of this. The mother's milk, if you are healthy, first 3 days itself gives you 6 to 8 months of immunity to your babies. All these facts are completely suppressed in the name of modern food culture, industrial food culture. And we have kids, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, menstruating now in our country. In deep remote villages, the same thing is happening. So it's a simple switch to the real natural foods that will give you health. So where is your health? All the so-called educated, civilized people are running to hospitals. You are not going to get health there. You are going to get tablets. Tablet after tablet. At the most, these doctors can give you, if not tablets, some new technologies. Oh, don't worry, we can print your heart through the technology, 3D technology we are going to print. And then give you new heart, new brain, new kidney. Oh, your knee is not functioning, we will remove it. We have got small, medium, large, whichever suits. Buy one, get one free. Because if you do this, this is it doesn't suit. So even if one is right, you remove it. What kind of nonsense is going on? This is what is going on actually in the present day so-called medical establishment. And they call themselves doctors. These are not doctors at all, according to me. It's my personal opinion, of course. A doctor is one who eliminates his job in the people's life. And that is the way I define it. So if you come to me, you should not go to any other doctor and not come to me again and again. I should make you healthy for life. And that's what a doctor's job should be. Can we do that? So even if Corona 1, Corona 2, Corona 3 comes, I should not be scared. Can I get that internal immunity? How can I do that? Should be our goal. These are the hard questions that we need to deal if we want a secure, safe and sustainable future for the human race. But human race is not looking for answers in this direction at all. We are all filled with some unnecessary, illusory. We are all in illusion. ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಲುಗು ಮಾಯಾ ಅಂತ. We are living Maya. Nothing right is going on. We are all chasing something that doesn't do anything to human beings. If we cannot produce a healthy kid, what is your education and civilization and science for? Human race has been faltering in the last 30 years. We are producing more and more of autistic kids. It's called AUTISTIC. They do not function properly. So from ovum to the embryo to the kid, the developmental stages we are screwing up. There are kids nowadays born with hole in the heart. Forget about the brain. Now heart also is being affected. 3 out of 100 kids are born with holes in the heart. So human race has traveled in the name of science, in the name of modern living, to these kind of situations, and we still are not talking about it. On the surface of it, women are going to beauty parlors on a regular basis just to get their hair removed from their face. And women are not able to bear kids in the so-called developed countries because the hormone balance is lost. IVF centers have popped up like mushrooms all over the world, and the same scene is happening in India in the last 10 years. In Germany, there are no kids born. The average age is 48, 49 or so in the last 20, 30 years. And we still are not learning. We continue to do the same mistakes that these so-called developed countries have been doing because their interest is only financial and economic model. It's high time human race recognizes that we are living in economic models, but we, the human beings, belong to living biological models. So we need to choose now to be living in an ecological model. That means live with nature, not with machines and artificial foods, artificial way of living. You got to work, you got to strain your body to be healthy. There should be enough work, the movement of the joints, the movement of the body. So you need to walk or you need to work to burn the glucose that you are pumping into your blood. 5 grams of glucose at any given point of time in your whole body. If you want to use it as energy, you need to walk 1 hour 15 minutes. 1 gram of glucose gets burnt in a matter of 15 minutes if you walk non-stop. So are you walking Kanishta? Kanishta andre minimum 1.5 hours if you walk, you will burn that 5 to 6 gram of glucose in your blood. Then there is a potential created. So you can pump more glucose into your blood so that things can go on smoothly. But then, even if you walk 1.5 hours, if you pump all chemicals into your body, things will go wrong. That means it's not just good enough to walk regularly, you need to also eat the right food. And that right food is something that slowly and steadily pumps glucose into us. The food has to have the regulation, not we cannot regulate. So the internal regulation has to be designed in the food that we eat. So stop eating rice and wheat tomorrow onwards. What are you talking? Oh, we have been eating for the last 50 years, 60 years. And many people think they have been eating time immemorial this rice. Rice was not there. Wheat was not there. What was there before were these wonderful grapes. all over the world. Historically, human race ate this. In fact, our so-called Puranas texts, our Venkateshwara fellow ate Srinivasa, Tirupati, Same, Paisa is what his mother Vokla fed him. But now you go, they are giving you rice laddus and all this, the sweet sugar, they are dumping sugar. The laddu that you get in Tirupati, if you eat, you will just pump the glucose into your blood. So, what Srinivasa ate is different, what you are eating is different. But we have lost that knowledge. In fact, I was the one who was expecting, at least in Tirupati, they will still give Same Laddu or Same Paisam for Naivedya. But all over the world, these companies have taken over. Not only that, many places where in the name of Swamis or in the name of temples, we are feeding thousands of people with this rice and with this sugar. So even if you go to a temple, okay, you will not get the right food. So you go to allopathy doctor, you go to homeopathy doctor, you go to naturopathy doctor, you cartopathy, everything doesn't work, you go to Tirupati, that also doesn't work. So you become DRDO, nothing else. What I am trying to communicate to you is the futile exercises that the human race is going through. I mean, I know a lot of so-called sick people do this. They try this, they try that, they try this diet, that diet, this, that, and then nothing works. They go to temples, they go to astrologers, and whatever you do, nothing is going to work unless you change your food. That's where the problem is. That means you need to go back to kitchen. Your kitchen is where. But then what happened in the last 30, 40 years? If someone says, what does your wife do? She's a housewife. Housewife? Being housewife is not good. Means you are working in kitchen? So this housewives also got sick of this. And they said, why not we also order from Zomato and Swiggy? So the kitchens are completely out of fashion. That's what has happened in Europe. No one cooks. And that's what is happening in India the last 20 years. And then we are all very happy about it. Well, we don't do anything. We just earn money. And then you order in Zomato and you get something and you eat and you think you're okay. On top of it, all these so-called media fellows keep writing, eat dry fruits, eat strawberry, eat kiwi fruit, eat what? Nonsense. And olive oil is good. So everyone starts ordering olive oil. How many olive trees are there on this planet? Where do you get this olive oil from? Come. Industrial food culture. That's what I am talking to you all about. The mineral oils that is left out in the diesel industry is filled. Olive oil, no problem. Any number of tons we will provide. So in 90s they used to mix half and half. Now it is 95% diesel oils that you are getting in the name of all food oils. Sunflower oil, sunflower oil, different names. No cholesterol. You eat groundnut oil, you have cholesterol. You eat coconut, you will have cholesterol. So the doctors are scaring you, don't eat coconut, don't eat groundnut. But take olive oil. This is what has happened in the last 30, 40 years. All over the world, they have discouraged in the name of science the local foods and the local materials. In fact, Niger seed oil can heal your Alzheimer's. Coconut oil, Niger seed oil, sesame seed oil, 3 spoons on a daily basis in the morning. We have cured Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, paralysis, these autistic kids. And what do you know? Autistic kids means they have got obsessive and compulsive disorders. That means if they see a knife, few of them want to take it and then keep poking you. So you cannot sleep if there is a knife and an autistic kid. Of course, all autistic kids do not do that. Some of them do that. Some of them go and hit their head to the wall if they are not happy or if they do not do something that is suitable for them. So each one has his or her own systems developed. So imagine you have an autistic kid who wants to poke with a knife all around you 24 hours. There are many such kids being produced by the human race. We have actually helped so many such kids by this natural oils. And the natural oils, in the name of producing in large quantities, as I told you, machines, cold press, all these kinds of hangama comes in. But the real oil is the fat material coming out of oil seeds like coconut, groundnut, sesame seed, Niger seed. And the oils are there in nature to reproduce. So if the seeds do not have oils, little bit of it, you cannot have germination. So the coconut is so big and so much oil is there because the coconut does not know when it can get to the land because it is produced all through in backwaters of ocean and where the rivers meet. This is the nature. So all these issues one has to consider on a holistic basis and then design. We don't need fat materials in large quantities. You need only small quantities, especially when the babies are growing up. Their brain, their liver, their kidney, all these are made of 70% fat material. So the right fat material if you supply, you will get the healthy kids. That means when you are having a baby, that is before becoming pregnant, the both man and woman have to eat the right food. Then you can assure your kids will be healthy. We have done these experiments and fed these so-called autistic kids the right foods, and then we are able to reverse their behavior, and that means people, they don't even have eye contact. All these issues can be dealt if we eat right food. It's not enough we simply produce kids. We need to produce healthy kids. Even that, we are losing balance. The whole problem arises because we started having imbalance in our systems. That is hormone imbalance because we are consuming milk in large quantities, which is not supposed to be. What is milk after all? It is a mammalian stuff. Mammals, that means animals who have breasts, feed their babies through their breasts. And the first food material, it's not just food, it gives a lot of things for the growing baby. So, and it is to be directly delivered. This is the point that everyone is missing. That you deliver the milk from your nipple to the mouth of the baby. In between there is no other stuff. But then what are we doing? We are taking cow's milk, which is manipulated, and then go through pasteurization, homogenization, cold storage. After 10 days or 15 days, you put it in a plastic bottle, plastic nipple, and then you feed your baby. See the unscientific thing that we are doing to our babies. And we call ourselves very scientific. And as if this is not enough, I recently visited this Dubai or some other place, what is called Abu Dhabi. They are selling their milk. This milk is good for 6 months. So you can take the packet and after 6 months you get. How stupid can we get? And you call this technology. What is technology? After all, you are using chemicals, nothing else. Preservatives and no other bacteria can grow. To do that, you need air. So you have this hormone imbalance because of the so-called milk, and then you are giving all your kids vaccines, antibiotics. Before even they are 5 years old, you are washing their tummies completely out of microbes. No microbe left. So kids started getting headaches, this, that, because lot of biochemicals that are required for your health are produced by the microbes that are there in your tummy. And you say you are vitamin B12 deficient, these, that, these vitamins are not going to be absorbed by you even if you put it in terms of tablets. And that's what these doctors and allopathic system is trying to sell. They have been selling all this in the form of supplements. But no one is getting healthy because the body is not absorbing. To absorb, you need microbes in your tummy. That means you need to make porridge, fermented porridge and take. So you want to solve your problems, of many of your problems, start eating ambali. We call ambali in our language, Kannada, Telugu also. Ambali is fermented porridge. So you take any of these 5 grains. How can they become, how they absorb and then start allowing the right microbes to grow when you cook them in the morning and allow it to ferment. This is called fermented porridge, ambali. In the same fashion, from time immemorial, we have been eating idli dosa. Idli dosa is a right combination of dicotyledons and the monocotyledons, rice and dals. You have 1 fistful of dal and 3 or 4 fistfuls of rice. Grind them, soak them in water and leave it for overnight, and you see the fermentation. That you cook and eat. Of course, you have the fermented products. You don't have the microbes when you cook them. And then ambali is other way around. You first soak these grains, cook in the morning and tie a cloth and keep it till evening. So the cooked material starts getting fermented. You take the ambali directly without heating. Then you have the microbes and the microbial product. That's how you fill your tummy with the gut microbes. Within 6 weeks, you will see wellness entering your body. Let the disease be whatever you call it, cancer, Parkinson's, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Even dialysis. People who are going through dialysis because of this so-called high protein food. And everyone started going to gym because some 6-pack, 10-pack heroes have started appearing in Bollywood and Tollywood and Hollywood. And this is a financial, these movies are financed by these chemical companies, and all of a sudden, all over the world, even in small villages, you started having gyms. Then whey protein, this protein, that protein. This is what is going on. You are not getting 6-packs. You are losing your sperms. That's what is happening. And sadly, even women started going to gyms. More and more stress on the kidney. Uric acid has increased. Creatinine has increased. No problem, we have dialysis visits. Come on, every week. That's what I told in the upfront. At the most, they are selling you the technologies or tablets. So if your creatinine is increasing, uric acid is increasing, please don't eat proteins. That is, even tur dal, urud dal also will increase your problems. So any kidney related issues, you stop. Protein is good enough for us, 5% is good enough. But all these so-called scientists and doctors are making you believe that we need to eat a lot of protein and fat. Protein and fat are going to be made within our body by ourselves. Because your protein, your fat is to be synthesized by you, not by an animal. Because animal synthesizes protein for its use. A cat produces a muscle which wants to jump. A horse or a pig or a cow for its particular fashion. But for us, the meat, the protein combination is different. So our raw materials are different Their finished products are different. So we take that and then try to make our, it's a huge metabolic stress you are creating. All these things are physiologically wrong things to do. But no one is bothered. You eat whatever you want, you come and take this tablet. That's how these doctors are. What nonsense. That's how you have obese people, that's how you have autistic kids, that's how you have Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Now in America, Alzheimer's, people do not know who they are. Have I married you? When did I marry you? Because he doesn't know. He forgets himself. He doesn't know who he is. Of course, as such, the society there do not want to keep their wives, or wives do not want to keep their husbands. They keep exchanging now and then. And it is coming good handy, this Alzheimer. Oh, forget, they are actually faking Alzheimer patients are also. I am trying to actually fill in some humor, but the situation is very serious actually. We are all in it together because we are following this economic model, industrial food culture. So there has to be some common sense, if not great sense, that we are going to do things differently in the next coming years. Otherwise, Corona 2 is going to come, Corona 3 is going to come. No one can stop. No one can stop. But sadly, I made a small video saying that if you can drink these Kashayas, you can be protecting your Tinospora, Gilai leaves, they are called Tipatiga Amrutaballu. Bilwa, again, it is called wood apple. And then you have Pongemia, you have Ajadarita, that is neem, you have people, that is your Ficus religiosa, Ardima. All these 7 leaves, every leaf, Kashayam, just boil 4 minutes, any of these leaves for 4 minutes, and then switch off the stove, close the lid for 2-3 minutes, filter and have that liquid decoction in 14 days, 2 days each, 7 leaves, and then again repeat the cycle. In 28 days you will have immunity for all these viral diseases, absolutely free of any fear. 7 decoctions. It's called Kashayam. We call Kashayam. So each local, our India, these 7 leaves would be doing good enough. If you go to America, you need to figure out the leaves that are present in that area. You go to Kashmir, you have to figure out what are the leaves there in the particular zonal areas. So in and around diversified leaf Kashayams are the ones which will present antigenic properties to your bone marrow, and you will produce all the antibodies required to face any kind of virus, and that is the scientific logic. But we are not doing that. We are all drinking in the morning, all over the world. Every fellow, either he drinks coffee or tea. And to drink coffee and tea, we are producing tons of sugar. Of course, sugar is produced not for coffee and tea. It is produced as a byproduct for liquor. I explained to you all that. So it's all concocted into a very horrible food culture, which doesn't have a single content to give health. What human race is eating is the most unhealthy way of doing it. You want to be healthy, you don't want to give your kids milk, sugar, eggs, wheat, rice. I am not declaring and telling you that these are the reasons why they are not good for your kids or your gut. Because they are spoiling our hormonal balance, they are spoiling our glucose balance, they are spoiling our microbial balance. So without correcting these three issues, how can you become healthy? By taking tablets. And the whole present day medical world is running around creating tablet after tablet, tablet after tablet, doing research after research. I do not know what they are trying to do. When the health depends on these three important issues. And the three imbalances can be easily corrected by these simple corrections. So change your food to these 5 grains and include ambali in your weekly at least once or twice. Then your microbial gut microbes get completely taken care of. Then don't drink milk and caffeine related stuff so that your nervous system is taken care of. Don't eat meat, eat these eggs and all. Don't disturb your kidney functions and liver functions. It is actually very simple. What I am trying to communicate to people is very simple. This is all that is to be required to be done by us. And to prove the point, we have been working from 1997 to 2005. We tried to create all these materials because they are all gone, disappeared from the planet Earth. So it's been a Herculean task for me to get back these grains, get back this oil, because no oil is, ghanas themselves are disappeared. In fact, I had to struggle to create the ghana. Again, reinvent the whole thing. People didn't know how to make the wood ghana driven by bulls. It is simple, but then we have lost the technology and we do not know how to, there are no carpenters who can make that. So it took me so much time. I had to rediscover all this stuff. See, we are just losing knowledge, skills, everything that is very good for human race, we have lost. We have healed so many diabetic patients. Now I don't want to claim like this, but I have no choice. There are more than 2,000 to 6,000 MD, MS doctors who are diabetic, who have acknowledged to me that they are now out of diabetes condition after starting to eat this food. Why am I mentioning only doctors? Because they are supposed to be taking care of us. It's not doctors. Thousands of people have been reporting to me, acknowledging that they have been out of their illnesses by following these food practices. So people say, oh, we change our food habits. No, don't change your food habits, change your food. You can eat pickles along with kodo millet rice, but make the pickles out of these ghana oils, not the refined oils that you are buying. Can you believe you are getting your groundnut oil for 100 rupees per liter? When the groundnuts cost per kilo is 60 to 70 rupees now, that means you need to have at least 3 kilos of groundnuts to produce 1 liter of oil. And you are getting less than half of the price, and you have no question to ask, and you go and buy liters of it and make bonda and bhaji and eat in your house. We are not thinking. And then if we say, you buy this oil, oh, it is very costly. Buy the kodo millet, oh, it's 100 rupees. But then you are the same guys, order on Zomato, buy a pizza for 800 rupees. And many of the so-called media fellows are writing, the Hindu fellow writes, oh, this process is very difficult, so it is not profitable for the farmers. Why doesn't this media fellow write pizza is 800 rupees? I have not seen any single paper or media fellow saying pizza is 800 rupees. But then when I say groundnut oil is 380 rupees per liter, oh, it's very costly. Everyone starts writing about it. What kind of standards do you have? You say this is costly and you want to go and buy diesel oil which is thrown out as a waste. They are selling you 100 rupees, it is cheap for you. After drinking that, you are getting cancer. One of the reasons the cancerous condition in the country is increasing because of this refined oils and all these chemicals, all these viruses. What is cancer after all? It is just like an infectious disease playing out in 3 to 4 days, killing you. Whereas cancer it does slowly. Your genetic material is manipulated. The same cell keeps producing itself without control, and that's what you call cancer. So you can be out of cancer in 3 years or 4 years because the body reinvents, reproduces cells newly. Actually, human body does every 7 years. Every 7 years you become completely new. So no cell in my body is the same after 7 years. I am completely new, but I am what I am. And that's the beauty of life. Without your knowledge, if I want to remove this, I have to remove this and bring new one. But in our body it doesn't happen like that. There is nail, but it is gone and a new nail has come. You don't even know when it happens. It happens. So there is the new thing being built up every second. Some organs take more time, some organs take less time. Like for example your blood, hemoglobin gets rotated in 3 months. So once in 3 months your hemoglobin blood is completely different. Each and every cell is different. Like that, lot of biological, metabolic, physiological facts are completely not taken into consideration in the name of science and technology nowadays. So that means if you produce the right material into your body, you are going to be new and healthy. We did this. In fact, the so-called progressive diseases like DMD, muscular dystrophy, that is actually a disease, the coordination of muscles and the nerves, the tendons, ligaments, they are all going to stop functioning slowly and steadily. It's called progressive disease. There is no cure. Nothing can be done. So you start walking 5 steps, then you start falling down. Then your muscles in the heart start beating slowly and slowly. So first year it is 69, next year it is 60, next year it is 50. So your heartbeat goes on decreasing. And at a certain point you will die. Nothing can be done. So a DMD patient who has actually reached the heartbeat around 40-41 started eating these grains and then these oils and then decoctions. After 9 months, his heartbeat now is 60, which was actually 40. And they declared that it is not possible for it to increase. And now he was not able to walk 5 steps. After 9 months, he is walking 5 kilometers in 1.5 hours. And that is the kind of wellness if your food is right. So what is the lesson? The lesson is if your food is right, you don't need any medicine. And if your food is wrong, no medicine works. So if you put these 2 sentences together, that means you really don't need any medicine. Am I right? You are all taking so many medicines because nothing is working, because your food is not right. Because no doctor has told you that your diabetes is curable. So 15 years back when I came onto the stage and said I can cure diabetes, people laughed at me, mocked at me. But now, gupchup, no one is talking. Yeah. Even doctors are curing themselves. Not only in India, all over the world. All over the world. Now, people are not afraid of diabetes because in a remote village, a small girl of 7th standard took and read my small booklet and healed her mother of gangrenous condition. Gangrene is a dangerous stuff. When the diabetes condition increases, your bone marrow stops creating any kind of antibodies. So a small injury will lead to continuous infections, and then you become septicemia and you die. Despite people removing their legs, fingers and all these amputations. Right in Bangalore, Malleshwaram, there is an amputation hospital. In 2000, they were actually conducting 8 amputations per day. Now they are doing 800 amputations per day. I may not be exact in the statistics. This is all in the name of science. This is all in the name of technology. And we have cured thousands of these gangrenous conditions just by changing food and oils and decoctions. So we are very clear that we have found a path for the human race to be healthy. It's just a matter of time and matter of you people getting convinced by yourself that you have to change from the industrial food culture, the economic way of living, to ecological way of living. It is high time human race recognized these mistakes. And people think I am talking about health. Actually, I am not talking about health. I am talking about how do we conduct ourselves on this planet. Health is a given thing. You can cure diabetes, you can cure cancer, you can cure all this. Actually, they are irrelevant for me. It will happen anyway. I am talking about how human race should conduct itself on this planet by living intelligently and wisely and in a godly fashion. We are supposed to take care of the animals on this planet, the living things that cannot do anything about their existence. Instead, we have been behaving devilishly and killing all the things on this planet, because 60% of living things have become extinct because of our industrial food culture. And it's high time we accepted this mistake and behaved differently coming future generations, so that we have also got a wonderful future for our younger generations, so that we don't produce mentally ill units, which is already in the rise because of our way of doing things. So let's respect nature, consume things that are only required by us for our existence, not overdo things. Overproduction of anything leads to imbalances. Let nature be our guiding light, and let us be part of nature, not dictating nature what to do. Let us get the diktats, it's called diktats, from nature. Let's live according to natural principles. Only then our existence is going to be healthy and happy on this planet. Otherwise, what? You have cancer, you have diabetes, you have coronas, and some more diseases that are unknown are going to hit you, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and no technology, no machines, no missiles can help you. It is growing millets and growing trees that can save the planet, and we can be all healthy and happy. Thank you very much for inviting me to address you, and I hope I have disturbed you fellows. I want to disturb people's thought process. I am not dreaming tomorrow you will go and start making millets. It will take time. It will take time. People who are drinking coffee and tea cannot give up because you are addicted. People who are drinking alcohol cannot give up tomorrow because you are addicted. People who have eaten sweets, the sugar, you cannot give up tomorrow because you are addicted. Even that can be taken care of. There are some decoctions that can get you out of these addictions, including drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sugar addiction. All these things are worked out, and we have put a website called sirijeevan.org, SIRIJEEVAN.org. You can visit the website. All the information according to diseases, fits, what to do, HIV, what to do, cancer, blood cancer, bone cancer, uterus cancer, brain cancer, what food I need to eat, what decoctions I need to do. Everything is completely arranged in a tabular form, and lot more information is recorded. It's all available in English, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam. It is not there. We are working in all the other Indian languages we want to put up. You just have to go to sirijeevan.org and you can download it. Everything is free. You don't need to pay money. We are not patent culture. Nothing is here nowadays, the present day. You find something, oh, I have discovered. Call me. I will send you dabbas of plastic, dabbas of churnas. What nonsense is it? Ridiculous. Information is there to be shared so that other people also enjoy the benefit of the information. So we have been sharing the information. When the YouTube was not there, when the Google, when the website net is not there, we used to print pamphlets. Lakhs of pamphlets we have printed and then distributed all over Karnataka. I have been traveling through Karnataka in the last 10-15 years. Almost every taluk I have gone and distributed the information, and hundreds, thousands of farmers have now started growing these grains. They were actually gone out of this planet. Luckily we had a few of them, and then I started reviving all these 5 grains. Now all over Karnataka, in fact Karnataka is the only state in the world that produces these grains in large quantities. And we want the whole India to produce these grains so that we can give to others. And I don't mean we start another business of Siridhanya to the world. We would love to teach the world how to grow. In fact, 6 months back I went to Nigeria and handed them 5 grain seeds, and I'm happy to say I received again 2 kilos of all these 5 grains from Nigeria. They have grown and sent me back as memento. So we want to reintroduce to the whole world that these grains can be grown again and they can eat, they can process. They don't need to buy from us. And no one need to sell these things. In fact, I have a dream where we just walk out and harvest, come home, put it in mixie, make the rice and cook and eat. And it should be free for all. No one need to buy food at all. And that's possible only with these 5 grains, because it doesn't require anything else. You can grow it anywhere on this planet, just you need is 4 rains. So even if the temperatures are going to rise to 42 degrees, the grains that can be harvested are these 5 grains. Not rice, not wheat, not sugar. That people should be aware. So it is food for future, and it actually was food of our past. Only in this 50 to 100 years we have blinked. The human race has done the mistake, and here is a chance for us to correct the mistake so that the next generations will be healthy, gotten rid of all these stupid diseases that we have created in the last 100 years. Who have grown on these Kashayas, not giving milk, not giving sweets. They have not visited doctor even once, including me. Come on, you need to clap. And I will explain to you one more event or incident. This I didn't plan. Back in 2008, I believe. This 2004 or 2008, I don't remember exactly. 2008. This is dengue was very severe, and H1N1 was also very severe. So we, as a group of concerned volunteers, went to different villages and distributed the pamphlets to drink these Kashayas, and we also gave some homeopathic medicines. And we started this in April. And then by the time this is around Mysore, HD Kote, all those villages, we were traveling, and the monsoon came early. Instead of end of May and June, it started raining in the month of May itself. So few of the villages got disconnected because of heavy rains. So we couldn't visit those 2-3 villages and give the information and the homeopathic medicine. And wherever we have gone to the villages, all the people did not get this dengue and chikungunya. And those 2-3 villages got the sickness. And this was not planned, but this was observed. In fact, this was noted in one of the documentaries made by DD or Karnataka channel, and people from that parts have actually talked about this. So, incidentally, we have documented this so-called, you said, control and experiment. But actually, you can do these experiments yourself. Don't wait for, you just 6 weeks drink these Kashayas and you see the change. And this control group, this group, that group, this kind of scientific studies are not going to be done soon because the system doesn't want this to happen. In fact, I have cured hundreds of diabetic patients and no one wants to write, publish. Though I have cured thousands of people, it is not scientific because it is not published in any journal. So don't worry about these guys publishing and wait for your health to be degenerated to that extent. Start eating, it will come. The science fellows also will catch up slowly and study.
Thank you for watching.